welcome back to Brexit Pursued by a Bear. Another interesting week for politics. Two of the masterminds behind Brexit have jumped ship. One of the masterminds behind the Iraq War has jumped back into deep water. And alien masterminds have simultaneously jumped the shark and pressed jump on the gamepad they're using to operate this shit show of a human zoo we call the world. I'd like to publicly congratulate our alien overlords. In the movies, it's all explosions and death rays. Here, they've gone for polarizing an electorate and causing mass unrest. I imagine their grotesque leader is very happy. So, the Tory leadership contest plows on like a series of the X Factor set during the aftermath of an atomic detonation, with a set of secret ballots. I know what you're thinking. Surely the Romans had it right when they made people fight to the death in the Colosseum. The main crux of the leadership contest seems to be which candidate is able to pretend they're most committed to Brexit. And somewhat unsurprisingly, another man who championed loudly for it is swiftly silenced. Seeing Gove out of the running is less like saying goodbye to an old friend than it is finally getting rid of that damp patch in the attic. It wasn't necessarily hurting anyone, but it was horrible to look at, and sooner or later would have caused more problems. I, for one, think it's a shame to say goodbye to Gove. After all, he would have been a brilliant leader. The man who led our education system to unmitigated success. The man who showed such aptitude for improving school standards that his next job required him to look at the prison system. The man who said we didn't need to rely on experts for informed opinions.
I think the people in this country have had enough of experts.
The man who wanted to send Bibles to every school in the country. The man who wanted us to buy the Queen a boat. That man. This man.
If anyone wants to get me to sign a piece of parchment in my own blood saying that I don't want to be Prime Minister, if that's what it takes, then I'm perfectly happy to do that.
So, who's left in the running? Who are these two horsemen of the fuck-apocalypse, you wonder? Well, for a start, they're not men. Aren't you sexist for just assuming that? They're two women. For the first time in history, two female candidates are competing for the role of PM. It's an exciting time. The only trouble is, those women are Theresa May and Andrea Leadsom. One who believes racist abuse is best printed on the side of a van, and another who is desperate to prove she's both for and against gay marriage.
Gay marriage. Do you support gay marriage?
I would have preferred for civil partnerships to be available to heterosexual and gay couples, and for marriage to have remained as a Christian service that was for men and women who wanted to commit in the eyes of God.
So, the Conservative Party have simultaneously broken the glass ceiling for the second time in 37 years and gashed their wrists on the remaining shards. Our current Home Secretary, Theresa May. She may look like a pumpkin 2 weeks after Halloween, but she's currently the strongest option. According to Norman Baker, a Lib Dem who served under her in the Home Office during the coalition government, Miss May is politically not very liberal and personally hard as nails. A character breakdown worthy of the best Die Hard villain. He went on to say, "You don't survive as Home Secretary for 6 years without some form of aptitude." I don't want to sound too positive because I wouldn't want her as Prime Minister. Miss May said recently that Brexit means Brexit, ignoring that currently it doesn't. It's one of those Tory phrases that carry very little meaning, like quantitative easing and campaign promises. Despite being a quiet Remain voter, she vows she'll deliver, showing she's nothing if not committed to other people's bad ideas. Yes, it's hard to know what Brexit under Miss May would look like, but some suggest this. In the past, Theresa May has come out strongly against immigration. And let's not also forget in March she pledged to deploy more armed police officers. If there's one thing this tense, fractured country needs, it's guns. After all, nothing calms down heated situations like firearms. Next on the list of the useless suspect, Andrea Leadsom, a city banker turned politician. Because if there's one thing the banking community needs, it's greater representation in politics. Leadsom founded a charity focused on perinatal bonding. This is the theory that if newborns don't bond with their mothers, they become unable to regulate feelings, develop sociopathic hobbies like fox hunting, and become Tories. In a bid to prove herself worthy of leadership, she's made her CV available online. Think of her as LinkedIn made human. Like anyone writing a CV, she's prone to the odd brag, like stating she was a senior investment officer for 10 years, though was actually only an investment manager for 3 months. You know, little boo-boos like that. No doubt under hobbies she put socialising, travelling and leading a nation to certain disaster. In other news, earlier this week Nigel Farage resigned from politics and became a radio DJ standing in for Katie Hopkins on LBC. They needed someone capable of topping her unveiled bigotry, and Voldemort was unavailable. Let's also not forget that in amongst all this fun and games, the Chilcot report has been released, outlining the problems that led to the Iraq War. This is probably the second release most feared by white middle-aged men this year after the new Ghostbusters. That's all for now on Brexit Pursued by a Bear. Please find us on Twitter, comment below and subscribe to the channel for more videos. You really think they're going to subscribe to this thing? This is YouTube, for Christ's sake. They're just teenage girls watching boys who look like girls talk about anxiety. Yeah, can you turn the lights on? Do you know, for a woodland creature on a news studio, it's bloody hot in here. You would have thought you fixed the bloody air conditioning. Jesus Christ.